Hello students, let us continue the second part of chapter 1, Nutrition in Plants. We have learned in the first part of this lesson what is nutrition and its types. They are autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, plants prepare their own food using chlorophyll. There are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. They cannot prepare their own food. Like human beings and animals, such plants depend on the food produced by other animals. They use heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, plants prepare their own food. In heterotrophic nutrition, plants depend on other plants for their food. Let us see the other modes of nutrition. 1. Parasitic nutrition. What is parasitic nutrition? Nutrition in which plants depend on the food produced by other plants is called parasitic nutrition. Such plants are called parasites. Do you see a yellow wiry branch structure twining around the stem and branches of a tree? This plant is called Cuscuta or Amarbel. It does not have chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing. The plant on which it climbs is called the host. Cuscuta is a parasite. The plant on which it is climbing is called the host. Do we, human beings, are parasites? No. Human beings are not parasites. The intestinal worms such as roundworm, hookworm found in our intestine are parasites. They suck or absorb blood from our body. So they are parasites. Leech, lice, bedbug, these are all parasites. Let us see the second type of nutrition, that is saprotrophic nutrition. What is saprotrophic nutrition? Nutrition in which organisms take in nutrients from dead and decaying matter is called saprotrophic nutrition. Such organisms are called saprotrophs. Example, fungi on bread, mushroom are examples for saprotrophs. Students, observe the screen. You can do this activity. Take a piece of bread, sprinkle some water over the bread. Leave it in a moist, warm place for 2 to 3 days. After 2 to 3 days, you will see cotton-like threads spread over the piece of bread. These are cotton-like structures are organisms. These organisms are called fungi. These type of organisms grow over idli or dosa also after 2-3 days. You may have also seen fluffy umbrella-like patches growing in moist soil or on rotting wood during rainy season. This is called mushroom. They do not have chlorophyll. They are not able to prepare their food. How do they obtain their nutrients? They obtain their nutrients from the decaying matter. They absorb nutrients from the decaying matter. So they are called saprotrophs. Fungi also grow on pickles, leather clothes, and other articles that are left in hot and humid weather for long time. During the rainy season, they spoil many things. The fungal spores are generally present in the air. When they land on wet and warm things, they germinate and grow. Let us see the third type of nutrition, that is called symbiotic nutrition, or it is called symbiotic relationship. Some organisms live together and share both shelter and nutrients. This relationship is called symbiosis. For example, certain fungi live inside the roots of the plants. The plants provide nutrients to fungi, and in turn, the fungus provides water and certain nutrients. For example, lichens or lichens. In lichens, a chlorophyll containing partner, which is an alga, and a fungus live together. The fungus provides water, shelter and minerals to the alga, whereas alga prepares food and it provides it to the fungus. So, in lichens or in lichens, symbiotic relationship can be seen. Lichens are the indicators of pollution. They do not grow in polluted area. They grow only in non-polluted area. Lichens grow only in non-polluted area. They are the indicators of pollution. They show symbiotic nutrition or symbiotic relationship. Have you seen or heard of plants that can eat animals? There are few plants which can trap insects and digest them. Such plants may be green in color or of some other color. Look at this plant. It has pitcher-like or jug-like structure. It is the modified part of leaf. Leaf is modified into jug-like structure or pitcher-like structure. The apex or top of the leaf forms a lid which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. Inside the pitcher, there are hair-like structures which entangle the trapped insects. The lid closes and the insect is trapped. The insect is killed by the juices secreted in the pitcher and its nutrients are absorbed. Such insect-eating plants are called insectivorous plants. What are insectivorous plants? Insect-eating plants are known as insectivorous plants. Once again, we will list the modes of nutrition: parasitic nutrition, saprotrophic nutrition, symbiotic nutrition, then insectivorous plants. We have learnt that plants absorb water and mineral salts from the soil to prepare the food. By growing the crops continuously, the soil is losing its nutrients. We can grow plants and keep them healthy if we can fulfill the nutrient requirement of plants. Have you seen farmers spreading manure or fertilizers in their fields? Why do they spread or supply the nutrients to the soil? Yes, they supply the nutrients to improve the fertility of the soil. They add the chemical fertilizers such as potash, DAP, potash, urea. These are the fertilizers they add to their fields to improve the fertility of the soil. Usually, crop plants absorb a lot of nitrogen and the soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. Nitrogen is present in the gaseous form and the plants cannot absorb it directly. They need nitrogen in soluble form. How do the plants obtain nitrogen? From where do the plants obtain nitrogen? There is a soil bacteria called rhizobium or rhizobium. It can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into usable form. It enters into the roots of leguminous plants. Leguminous plants are pea plants, mung, beans, etc. It absorbs atmospheric nitrogen and it provides it to the plant. Plant is preparing the food and provides food to the bacteria. Plant also gives shelter to the bacteria. This relationship is called symbiotic relationship. This is of great significance for the farmers. They can reduce the use of nitrogenous fertilizer where leguminous plants are grown. Students, observe the screen. Here we completed the lesson Nutrition in Plants. Thank you students. Please do like, share and subscribe my channel.